Good morning.
Why do I feel close to the camera?
I thought it was like to me, it's like it's not a wide, like the room itself is large. This window that we have is not. So good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Medicare Cafe pre-chat, where Clayton and I just kind of get on a little bit early and just kind of start talking about the days, the weeks, the months, or even your year. So I do want to say, Kari is unavailable to make it. Again, this is a really busy time in her life right now. So she is still on the cafe, but just doing mama things right now with the transition from school to summer, so on and so forth. So you are stuck with just Clayton and I. What do you say? A B-team baller.
Yeah, I'm a B-team baller.
Yeah, we were talking about, like those moments where you're talking to somebody and they start talking about their stats in high school sports. Quite literally us about 30 minutes ago.
Mine was junior high. I was a B-team baller, so like one step further.
Oh, I didn't even know. I thought
I didn't play basketball
in high school.
No.
Wow,
I was that bad at basketball.
To talk about that then.
No, I didn't even try out. I just dropped it. It was like, I'm good, right? We're good here.
We're good. We have a mutual.
We can call it a basketball career at this point.
That was always like something that really frustrated me. Like, let's talk about things that are really petty, that are frustrating, that have no right being frustrating. Is whenever somebody's like when you say, "Hey, did you play sports?" Like, "Oh yeah, I did in junior high," and it's like no.
Like, where do you draw the line?
That's like saying, like, yeah, I played t-ball. No, you didn't. You didn't do sports.
Yeah, I played soccer when I was in third grade. I didn't.
Soccer is another one of my pet peeves that has no right being a pet peeve.
Just in general,
soccer? The idea of soccer.
Yeah.
It is the most boring sport to watch. At the end of a game, at the end of a match, is it a match or a game?
Game match.
At the end of a matching game, if they can tie. And that is just not okay. That's okay. Speaking of junior high sports, that's what that reminds me of.
Yeah,
and it's
ties shouldn't be a thing. So like, my only pro soccer comment
I love what's happening here.
Ted Lasso's a good show.
Okay, see, I've never seen Ted Lasso.
Okay,
maybe that's my problem.
Just started watching it. It's fantastic.
I was going to say, how do you know it's a great show?
I just started watching it. It's fantastic. This is how we talk to each other all the time.
All the time. I have lots of questions and little to no answers. So we still got a couple minutes before we actually start the real cafe. So if you want to know any of mine and Clayton's, my high school stats.
Yeah.
Clayton's, you played baseball.
I played baseball in high school.
You were a good baseball player?
I was good. I was the
question.
Yeah, I was good.
Okay.
I was that guy that was perpetually on the
bench.
DL. Nope.
If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, sets, or promises while Clayton and I are just jamming away, you can either text this number. That is my direct line, so you can text that. And anytime, even if you are watching the recording, if you text that is my number, so you can talk to me. Or, of course, put your little messages in the comments. I don't know where I am in relation.
I want to say it's this way.
Tell us who's right.
Do we flip? Hold on, YouTube is over here. It's got to be on our right.
It's right here. That's what I said. So anyways, comment, let us know your thoughts, feelings, and things like that.
Watch us try to point to the comment box, having no clue where the comment box is.
Honestly, I'm going to go back and watch. And do you want to bet a trophy dollar on where it's at?
Okay, so what side did you take, though?
I really think it's on your side. I think it's on your side.
I think it's on your side. And I feel like I'm wrong. It's below. What if it's below?
Let's go ahead and get started. Clayton, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about automation.
Automating your business. This is actually a conversation that we had a really fun. We had our key accounts retreat this week, which is where we take our top partners that have all of their contracts with us, special agreements going on, and basically talk about like what can we be doing, what can you be doing to grow your business. And a big conversation that came up was automation. Mm-hmm. And the portion behind that is like, why? Automation today, but like forevermore, is going to be one of the most important aspects of owning a business in general, but especially with an insurance agency. Number one is because the only way that you make money is by not necessarily, you can stand up and do it, I guess, but is by taking applications and having people pay money to have that application, by writing business. You don't make money by doing social media. You don't make money by doing seminars. You don't make money by doing other stuff. It's all to get that name on that paper. And everything else is considered busy work. Really important busy work, but still busy work.
That's kind of something I was looking at, was like, well, why or when do I need to start doing automation? And there was a few things. It's a task you have to frequently do, or it's on a type of schedule. So it's something you always have to do, like a lead comes up and you have to move it to a spreadsheet or CRM, whatever you use. And it's like, okay, that's a pretty regular thing I have to do in my day-to-day. Or it's a task that just like involves, like multiple different platforms or formats where you're just like shuffling information you got in an email to your CRM. Like, how do you automate these type of things? And then the last one would be like, are you gonna
I caused an earthquake. I'm sorry.
The last thing would be like, it's just a repetitive task. It's easy to do, but it's a repetitive thing that needs to be done. And it takes you away from the thing that will really make you guys money, which is sales.
I can think like as you're saying like the task oriented stuff, it's anything that doesn't need a human touch.
Yeah.
So like one thing that we really talk about that we pride ourselves on is whenever you call senior marketing specialist, you get a human being on the phone. It's not a phone tree line. So could we automate that? For sure. Could we eliminate a position in our company and automate that? We have the technology to do that, but that takes away a really human touch, which is a value add. So automation, I think in conglomerate, I think in combination with your thing is what does not require a human touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what is not improved by a human touch. So let's get into things that can be automated. Number one, this was actually Kari when we talked about doing this one. This was her thought. And I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And this is going to be using dictation either on your phone or computer software. It comes typically automatically uploaded or downloaded onto your phone. And that is whenever you are leaving an appointment in between appointments. Instead of sitting down and having to like retype your notes into your CRM or like put your thoughts together and write it down, she says after her appointment, she'll just take out her phone and dictate into her notes and then paste that dictation into the CRM. So she's not having to take the time to type it. It happens as quickly as she talks. And she says it comes more across authentic because it's her feelings in that moment.
Yeah. I know she talked about doing that like right after her appointment while it's still fresh. And I love that because there's a lot of little tidbits that you might leave out if you go back to it later. Like they told me about their dog or they told me about their grandson's t-ball tournament coming up. Whatever it might be. In the moment right after, I'm sure you guys remember it. 20, 30 minutes later when you've done 2 or 3 other things, it's like, okay, we talked about this carrier, we're getting this taken care of. And like all the personal details kind of go out the window because it's business.
Think about what we do. So we do the same thing. We have a CRM that every interaction we have with our clients, you the agent, we put in notes in our CRM so we can make sure no matter who that agent talks to, they get a holistic experience from all of us. Well, oftentimes, especially during the busy months of AEP, we aren't able to actually, we're going from call to call to call, situation to situation. We're not able to put notes in our CRM until the end of the day. And then at that point, you've gone through 50 other things. You don't really remember what happened. So you don't really get the full experience of having a good, solid tracking system in your CRM. So I love the idea. It's simple and it's easy, but if you use it properly, it really can save you a ton of time.
Especially like, I think, Kari, working mom, or somebody who's driving from appointment to appointment, like what better way to be able to do whatever other things you need to do while just talking to your phone and say like, hey, we talked about these things, blah, 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 blah.
Listen, I talk to myself on the reg. So like if I'm recording it, then it's less crazy.
Yeah. I do have one beef with it, and it's that you use Siri to text and everything.
I do use Siri to text. It's like having a little assistant, so I feel like, hey, call this person.
That's this.
That's this? What's this?
Dictation.
Dictation?
I'm dictating a text to me.
Yeah, the problem is, though, apparently I don't speak clearly or I have a bit of a twang. So Siri, doesn't quite get it all the time. So is it foolproof? I am proof that it is not. The Office calls it Olivianese. Oh. If you don't speak Olivianese, you're going to have a bad time communicating with me.
Olivianese.
No. The next thing we're going to talk about working on your automation is actually a program that we've learned about quite recently called Zapier. It is basically like an application or an add-on to any other type of service that you're using. In fact, they've kind of coined the phrase, there's a Zap for that. And so these are add-ons to things for basically to automate or add-ons for your CRM to automate a lot of these things. Basically, like what we talked about, like moving information from one source into another with a push of a button without you having to do anything.
Yeah, Zapier is really cool. I've worked with a couple agents that just love it. It seems like there's countless things that you can possibly do with it because they have like a couple thousand apps.
Yeah, it's literally just add-ons for agency block, other types of CRM, your Google storage things, tons of stuff. Todoist, crazy amount of stuff.
MailChimp's on there, Gmail's on there. Yeah. So it can really take a lot of those things that you guys are getting in from like your emails or something, move them over to spreadsheets automatically for you, takes that information. Because it's just moving stuff from one app to another.
Yeah.
Stuff that's super easy for you guys to do. It's just time consuming, and they have a Zap for that.
And again, having a app take that over doesn't inhibit the client experience because it's an inhuman task. So that's a really cool tool. We did talk about that. It also has the capability of like whenever of text and email reminders. So in your CRM or in your Google Calendar, if you can put certain coin words like appointment, and if it has the right contact information, you can go ahead. If you have like 24 hours before that appointment or 48 hours, you can go ahead and have a Zap for that it'll text or email that client before their appointment to remind them about it, which is a really unique tool.
And that's something that you can, of course, customize, make it a human touch with an automated action.
Oh, it's like a human touch with a robot arm. I don't like that. That sounds like I'm giving a robot a hug.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. Would you hug a robot?
I would. I'm a
Would
hugger.
you? You would hug a robot?
Yeah, I'd risk it.
I'd risk it all. I'd risk it all for a hug. The next thing we're going to talk about after Zapier, again, something that we've done a lot more research on. The only thing I will say about Zapier is that, because I asked this specifically for Medicare Center, if there was ever going to be a Zapier Medicare Center integration, and they said they can't currently because it is not a HIPAA compliant the thing. It doesn't have the securities required for consumer information. So just make sure you're not using it to like transfer over Medicare numbers or health data because it is not HIPAA compliant. It doesn't have the two-way authentication. So just make sure it's just like your other data that you're moving, not client health information or personal information. So don't do it.
With all the Zaps they got, there's plenty of stuff you can do.
There's so much. There's a Zap for that.
Yeah.
The next thing is something that like is like my favorite pastime right now, and that's ChatGPT. Does everybody know what ChatGPT is? It is literally the coolest thing. I had ChatGPT create me some really stuff like I'm using currently, but like I also had it make a rap about sheep.
Yeah.
And
the fun stuff.
And like a funny advertisement for a brown cow. Like it's hilarious. But it's AI generated technology that basically helps you come up with things that you would hire somebody to do, like your writing or your advertisement or your e-blast. If you're paying somebody to like come up with like wording for you, like a wordsmith, ChatGPT actually takes care of a lot of that. Now there is some like around it. There is some like controversy around it because there's like, where is the line between plagiarism and not? But that line's not there yet, so like you're fine. And like Kim said, she's like, it helped me write an article. It's same. It's actually like incredible for writing blog posts, incredible for writing Facebook posts. I've had it make e-blasts for myself. I had this is what I have here on this slide, is I asked ChatGPT to make me our Medicare Quick Start that Team Marketing Specialty does. I said, hey, I told it nothing other than just I typed in, can you make me an e-blast that advertises a new agent school for somebody who is a new agent or wanting a review who specializes in the senior market? And it came up with it. I had a couple tweaks like, can you make it shorter? Yeah. Can you add this line? Here's the time and date. And it literally, that was the advertisement that we ran. It is an incredible tool.
It's glorious for that exact purpose. I love it for emails.
Yes.
Because I can type up a good paragraph of like, hey, I want to convey this message. And it kind of gets a little bit of a personalized you in there. So it can kind of learn how you talk or what your sentence structure looks like. Because computers are freaking smart.
Oh my gosh. It's literally artificial intelligence.
And take that, make a whole email, and you just work back and forth with it. I love Gary Vee, and Gary Vee talks about ChatGPT all the time and how it does kind of hit that line of like, okay, well, when is it going to take over? And when does it do newspapers? Like, when is it just that? But it's working with it is what makes it still a you thing. Like tweaking it, saying, hey, can we make that the few words do trick? Yeah. I said that to ChatGPT, it got very confused.
When you say few words do trick?
But help do that. I've used it for emails to agents. You guys can use it to emails to clients. Script building. Like I've helped agents build scripts for phone sales using ChatGPT and giving it just a little bit of information. So always, of course, check it. Make sure that it looks and makes sense. But it's a good way to throw some ideas out there and work through and can help you come up with a bunch of different stuff.
Exactly. It is truly a time saver. And again, like that was something that like I always do. I like to proofread emails and go over that and like help people And it's freed up so much of my time that it's just like, you know what? Rerun it through. I don't have to rework the wheel. It's perfect. So ChatGPT is not new, but certainly has recently been going through a perfection process. So if you haven't been utilizing it, give us a try. It truly is a huge time saver, especially for more of those creative writing ideas.
Yeah. Just throw something in there like, hey, I need to email back a potential client who responded to a lead.
Yeah.
And just throw that out there, see what it has, and then start working through it just as like a practice technique because it's really easy.
Exactly. So let's go into our next recommendation for automation, and that is going to be, let me just make sure, yes. And that is going to be like just mass communication. I don't necessarily like, you have to be careful with mass communication to make sure like when is an appropriate time for mass communication, when is it like seen as like a sales thing, when is it too much. But there is, again, I'm a huge proponent of saying something to a mass audience in a lot of cases. So things like letting people know that you're going to be on vacation for a certain amount of time and unavailable for questions or commentary, letting people know that there are rate increases coming in their area, letting people know that AEP is coming up. So there is a lot that can be said for mass communication. There's two kind of softwares that we use or that we've seen agents use. Number one is going to be MailChimp. That is email primarily. It can do some other types of mass communication, but it just thrives in the email realm. It says 12,000 emails a month for free, up to 2,000 email addresses. It is free, so expect what you expect from a free platform, but I know a lot of agents that work it and really enjoy it. It gets the job done.
Yeah, for sure. It's something like your mass communications like newsletters and stuff like that you're
exactly.
generally sending out to all of your clients or all of your prospects, whoever you have an email for. So I love it for that kind of stuff. Obviously, the one-off emails aren't going to be a good usage here.
No.
Smaller groups can still work. Like you're talking about rate increases. Like you could grab a few agents or a few clients and say, hey, I need to email these 20 people about
I'd say if you're going to do 20 emails at a time or higher, do a MailChimp or something like that. The other option is going to be Constant Contact. Constant Contact is good for email and mass text options. We're actually getting into mass texting for our agent updates to let you know whenever counties are coming up with new rollouts, things like that. The thing with the text option is that due to the government and to laws and regulations, you cannot mass text somebody unless they opt in. So it does have the ability for people, again, all through Constant Contact, it does have an opt-in option to where your clients can opt in for that mass texting. Again, they don't need to opt in if it's a one-off text. If you're just communicating with your client via text, they don't have to opt in for that. It's only for the mass communication. But it is a really great time. Again, the same types of things that you would be doing, letting them know about important dates coming up, letting them know about events that you have coming up, things like that would be an excellent reason for mass communications like texting or email.
For sure. I just personally kind of believe more on the email side of that aspect because of all the opt-in, opt-out stuff that people have to have on there.
Sure.
So like just make sure that you're aware of that kind of stuff. Email's super easy. Text has little things you got to be careful with.
Email, people are less, I'll tell you this, and we're going to talk about that actually next in your retention practices. But I do want to say that if you are going to email your newsletter out, we talked about this at the Key Accounts Retreat as well. If you are going to email your newsletter out, the biggest thing, people tend to not open their emails, especially people retired, they like avoid their emails. So just keep that in mind. But if you put something in the title, if you're doing a newsletter, never put newsletter in the subject line because people will just like, oh, it's a newsletter. There's nothing important in there. I don't need to read that. Put something interesting, like an excerpt from the newsletter, like cinnamon roll recipe or ways to avoid a fall this winter, whatever, just an excerpt from there. Put that in the headline of it. And then the second thing I'll say about when you're doing any type of mass email, do not do an attachment. Do not put your newsletter or whatever the important part of the email is in an attachment. It will not get opened. So both MailChimp and Constant Contact do have the ability to embed into their platforms to where all the information you put in there does not have to be an attachment.
Yeah, just think about how many times that you send an email and somebody's like, well, I didn't see an attachment on there.
Yes.
It's there typically.
Exactly.
It's hidden down at the bottom of the email if it's like Gmail or if it's just at the top. And seniors especially don't know exactly how to open those things.
Exactly.
If you make them click 4 or 5 times to get to the important thing, it's going to get lost.
I'm not going to do that. I know exactly what I'm doing. If it takes more than 3 clicks to find it, it's It's like the Lost Ark. It's not meant to be found.
It's next.
It's
next
just
thing.
no. So let's talk a little bit more about the retention. We are strong believers. I think a lot of retention can be automated, but just keep in mind, like, retention and referrals, they go hand in hand. Happy people stay with you and they talk about you. You don't want to replace the human touch. So that's where you got to be very careful that you automate the process, not automate the message, because you cannot replace the human touch when it comes to retention. One of those, we've talked about that, 4 newsletters out of your 7 touch points. Senior marketing specialists, we actually make quarterly newsletters that go out per season. So summers will come out June 1st. So here in just the next week.
No, let's pretend like that didn't happen.
Okay, here in a few months when Jim gets here, the newsletter for summer will be available. But then again, you can send that out on a quarterly basis as well. Some other retention things we have. We said 7 contacts a year. I think here we have like 12.
Yeah, I think 7 is what we call like the bare minimum, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hey, you should be doing at least 7.
At least.
And if 4 of them's a newsletter, cool, you have 3 left.
You have to talk to your clients 3 more times. So an annual appointment, obviously, or you should be meeting with all of your clients at least once a year. A follow-up phone call, just any type, like that was something we discussed as well. Anytime that you communicate with your client with 0 sales intention, they're going to answer your phone call because people don't want to be sold to, but they enjoy buying. Yeah. So like just making sure that like every communication you have with them, the intention is not to sell them something because they will quit answering your phone call.
Yeah, and don't think of it as not a money-making activity because the money-making activity there is the retention process.
Year 3, year 4 commissions, and then also the referrals you're getting off
exactly.
of it. You're still earning money off that. It's just making sure that money's not leaving. A penny saved is a penny earned.
Oh.
Anyway.
Back that later.
That was an interesting reaction to that.
Wait, where did the penny go?
Where did the penny go? Birthday cards, thank you cards, holiday cards. If you're going to do a holiday card, don't do Christmas because everybody does Christmas and it gets lost in the shuffle. I love Thanksgiving holiday cards. I feel like they last longer. I feel like people appreciate them and they stand out more. As far as automation for cards, we have 2 solutions that we talk about regularly. One is going to be send out cards. These are perfect for birthday cards or any type, like a lot of your holiday cards. You upload a list of names, you upload a list of their addresses, and you type out this message you want to send, and then you're done. It'll mail out. You choose the font, you choose everything, and it'll mail out cards on a mass basis, and it's actually pretty affordable depending on what card. You can design your cards. You can upload a picture of like your office or your agency, your family, or you can choose like a pre-made card that they have available there. But it's really easy and fair and very, very affordable to do it that way. The other one is going to be handwritten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know handwritten we like a lot, especially for like birthday cards and stuff like that. And that is something that it can take that human touch not away. You can just enhance that process by being automated. Have something kind of in place for your general birthday message because it just needs to be short, sweet, happy birthday. We were thinking of you here at insert office.
Yeah, for sure. The big thing that it's like I wouldn't automate would be the thank you card. Because the thank you card, the way that I like to structure them is, hello, Clayton. I really appreciate you trusting me with your healthcare decisions. And then you insert something personal, like, I really hope you enjoy your vacation to Florida. Watch out for those alligators. Ha, ha, ha. I wasn't very funny as a kid. And then at the end...
We'll keep it there.
Okay. And then at the end, you put something like, if the best way or the best compliment to me is a referral. So here's some extra business cards if you ever in your families have any questions or need help on their insurance as well. So again, I'd like to have those be more customized because I think they just have a bigger impact.
And your Dictation app will help you with those personal details.
That's very true. Use your Dictation app. Judy asked a great question. I'm seeing agents on Facebook talking about having to register your phone with the FCC if you're going to text your clients. Can you discuss that? Again, that goes back to the mass texting. If you're texting your clients one off and just having, we text you guys, our clients, whenever, you guys are working with Clayton or Ben or Kaylee or whoever, like if you guys prefer to text us versus us calling or emailing, we can do that without having to worry about the FCC because it is a one-off communicative basis. But when it comes to the mass texting, that's whenever the FCC does get involved and has conversations with you. So typically right now, whenever you go through the constant contact, it'll set you up with with everything that you need to do in order to do mass texting. So if you are using mass texting, I do highly recommend, I don't know how you would do it otherwise, going through some sort of platform like Constant Contact, not trying to create your own, because they will abide by those rules and like regulations. I also recommend that if you are going to be doing mass texting, use a separate phone number than your actual company phone number, because unfortunately it doesn't take very much for people, as many like people to opt out or to file a complaint against that, for you to actually get that phone number shut down. And you don't want your actual company phone number shut down. And again, we all work with clients who, you know, maybe don't remember things, or their kids get frustrated. So people will opt out. People will complain against you if you're doing it on a large basis, even if you did nothing wrong. But there's little to no wiggle room on what will happen. So make sure, again, when you're using Constant Contact or you're using some sort of platform, have them generate a number to text from that is not your company phone number. Same thing goes if you're doing mass call campaigns. Do not mass call from your company number, because it's very possible that number could get shut down if enough people flag it. And it will. If you, I mean, these are numbers games. It's likely to get shut down, even if you're doing absolutely nothing wrong and you're doing everything compliant and everything legally. It's just better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially with texting, you know, if you get a text from a random phone number, at least on an iPhone, and you don't have it saved, there's a button at the bottom. It's like report as spam, and you can just click that right away.
Exactly.
So, like, it's super easy.
And it can get shut
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I do. And your number, and that number, if enough people report it as spam, that number does get blocked. You want to quit using it. However, you don't want that number to be your office number, and your office number comes up as spam now. Yeah. So just be aware of that.
For sure.
So some other retention practices that can help you with automation and things like that. Doing appreciation events, ANOC reminders, sending out emails or texts, letting people know that their ANOC is approaching and what to look for as far as their annual notice of change. And then one thing that I love that we have is our product postcard. These are from our AMP program, Agent Marketing Portfolio. They're compliant marketing pieces that we have created that you can put your name, logo, headshot, company information, everything on there. We personalize that for you. And we have things that will advertise home health care, final expense, dental, vision, hearing. We're getting cancer products up there as well. So give that a look. But it's a nice, easy, quick touch point that it just costs you postage and the actual postcard. So it's not like you're having to actively call your clients individually. It is, in a sense, automated.
Yeah, definitely check that out, because there's a lot of really good stuff on there that can be sent out as one of those touch points on the AMP portfolio. That's not a thing.
AMP, Agent Marketing Portfolio. Yeah. I'm sorry I exist.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is what we have as far as what I about said animation. Why are the words not wording today? Automation. This is what we have as far as automation goes to make your agency more efficient. The biggest thing is, remember that automation should never replace that personal touch. It should never replace that human feel. So again, all we're trying to do is make you more productive, get that busy work out of here. And maybe if you're somebody who's like teetering on that 300 client, 500 client, like what can we do to get you to avoid having to hire an admin for just a little bit longer, maybe another 100 clients or more? Automation will take care of a lot of that.
I was going to say, I think that's the perfect way or agency to really start using automation is like pre-admin person.
Yeah.
Like if you're at that point where like, do I need to hire admin? Like what are you automating that you could maybe avoid hiring that admin staff? But once you have an admin person, it's not something you just be like, okay, I don't need to automate anything anymore.
No.
Like, no, you can still automate quite a bit of their job. So like more stuff can be handled by that person.
More human. Keep the human stuff in your hands. Keep the human stuff in their hands. Automate the stuff that is just click, 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 click. Guys, any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or promises, throw them in the questionnaire box. Again, you can also shoot me a text message here. I do have a couple of them. I got a new phone system. Good morning, Terry. I got a new phone system and had to certify that I wasn't going to do mass texting. Again, yeah, a lot of your phone systems, including like we utilize Ring Central, they are designed for one-off texting. Like if you were texting me, it's like, Terry, you're texting me, I could text you back, no problem. That's completely fine. It's when you get into the mass texting where people on a mass basis, is not a personalized message, the exact same message is going to a group of individuals. That is whenever you have to have special software and agreements, and the client and the consumer has to opt in. You will never, like for like the mailing stuff, we used to kind of be like, well, if they're subscribing to this, we're assuming they're subscribing to all of our stuff. No. Can't do that with texting. It is not the same thing. They are very, very strict on the rules surrounding mass texting. Brian. People demand to know, has halitosis been to the dentist yet?
I haven't.
Is that you?
That's me.
How? You haven't been to the dentist?
I haven't.
After the public shaming you got?
Yeah. No, sure haven't. It's on my radar of stuff to do. I do have dental insurance now, so it's on the Oasis.
On the Oasis?
I don't know. It seemed right.
Oasis is not. Oasis is a place.
It's
Horizon?
Who knows?
Are you saying it's coming up?
It's coming up, yeah.
Okay. They're there. They're there. Yeah, Brian thinks you're disgusting.
Yeah. I get that, Brian. Come give you a big kiss.
Okay.
I like Brian.
That's fair. You just click.
He said horizon. Okay. It's on the horizon.
I said horizon. Brian, did we disagree on something? What a day is this?
It's a weird day.
What exciting. Question we got. Do you know of a software that I can take pictures of a lead sheet and turn that into a spreadsheet to save into my files? So actually, funny story, your phone actually has that capability. And again, like there's some integration that you have to do. So essentially, step one, turning a picture into a readable document or a searchable document. Why are you laughing? Oh,
Brian.
Okay. So the way you're going to do that, of course, I have an iPhone. So if you don't have an iPhone, I'm sorry for your loss. But on an iPhone, in order to you can actually turn a document into a readable PDF by taking a picture of it. You just go to, we're going to go through this together. Your notes portion of your phone. Go to notes, which is that little handy dandy tab right there. Click the notes. When you take a picture of something, like I'm going to take a picture of my Medicare Cafe foam finger. I'm going to start a new one. Take a picture using, my phone's so dirty, using the camera box. And it's going to say scan documents. I touch it. I scan the document.
Very important document.
I touch it. And now it's having me actually adjust my document to what it actually is. So I'm going to move this here. It's a very important document.
Yeah, it's really important.
Okay.
It's number one.
It is the number one document. Keep scan, right? So now, done. This is ridiculous. So now, this is now a document that I have. It is a readable document. My Medicare Cafe foam finger is now a readable document.
It's been
so
PDF'd.
then, yes, it's been PDF'd. So then, once you get this into a PDF, as far as putting it into a spreadsheet or things like that, I guarantee you Zapier would have something to take information as long as the document each looks the exact same. Zapier would have a function that would take information from this box, put it into this document. So again, as far as how do I take a picture and turn it into a PDF, that's step one. Zapier would have the ability to take it from a PDF and upload that into a spreadsheet. So I answered half of your question. So I get half a kudos.
Half kudo.
One half kudo for me, please. I have a scanned document. How funny is that? There is information no one really asked for, but I did my best.
It was a good document.
Someone said thank you. I did help. So yes, there you go. Any other questions, comments, concerns, threats, or promises? I can answer half of them, apparently. The other half, you're on your own.
Yeah.
But no, we do really appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Again, even if you are watching the recorded version of this is my direct line, so feel free to text me at any time. I always try to make sure I get back to them. I'm in meetings a lot. I think it's because they don't really like me talking to people, so they put me in a room and make me be quiet for a while.
That might be it.
But I will always make sure that I try to get back to you at least same day, if not within the same hour. So. Any other questions? What do we got tomorrow? We got some really cool stuff going on, a webinar that I'll be doing. I'm talking about why am I talking like this? Talking about integrity tools. So the T65, Lead Center, and Medicare Center. And just some really cool things that you have if you're working with an upline that is an integrity partner. And then Thursday, my good friend Clayton over here is going to be doing a cancer showdown, which is which cancer is the worst. Just kidding. It's talking about which cancer insurance company might be a great fit for you. Going over, why don't you talk about it?
A little bit of pros and cons with each of the carriers we're going to talk about. I think I've got 5 I wanted to go over. So I don't want to go into crazy detail about all of them, but I want you guys to know, like, if you use this carrier, what's it good for? What's the kind of negative side of it? Because I don't want to just say all of them are perfect, but anything is better than nothing. Was the whole message behind anytime I talk about cancer insurance is something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
You guys probably have cancer insurance carriers, and I'm going to tell you how to use it.
Listen, I love it. I was going to say, Clayton was just speaking at an event last week where he shared his own experience. Clayton is a cancer survivor and was sharing his experiences of what it was like to see those stacking bills associated with cancer and a year after you turn down cancer insurance. And I can tell you, we've already had 5 policies written from the agents in that room, and that was less than a week ago. So it's really impactful. So thank you for what you're doing. Yeah.
Love it.
That's the nicest I'm going to be to all day.
That's all I got.
That's all I have.
capped out
It
for the
actually,
day.
it took it out of me, and I'm in pain.
We'll talk later.
Appreciate you all so very, very much. What time is the integrity webinar? That is going to be at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time tomorrow morning. So same time as today, but just not today, tomorrow.
Tomorrow times.
Tomorrow time, but Central Standardly tomorrow.
I think mine's the same.
Huh?
I think mine's the same. If
10
anyone's.
o'clock on Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
So we're
should
big
know.
fans of the Big Ten. You all have a fantastic rest of your day. We appreciate your viewership, your membership, and your coffee tips. Until next time, have fun
Make money
and give impeccable service. Thanks.